And now we are live. Let's see if anybody can still stand talking to me anymore.
Yeah.
Hello,
Oh,
Jenny.
somebody's here.
Jennifer.
Jennifer. Howdy,
Hello,
Jennifer.
hello. Good afternoon, good morning. Hello, hello tomorrow. How are you doing with tomorrow? Taking good care of us, I hope. Yeah, well, we won't go to politics. Thank you very much. I apologize. Definitely not going to talk about politics today. No world affairs, none of that. No siree, Bob, because it's Roots Tech Week and we are going nuts around here. We're wheeling, we're dealing, we're live. Everywhere you go. I had someone reach out ready to be a guest. One day closer to Roots Tech. Exactly. You understand what I'm talking about here. So we are now 3 days, 17 hours, 58 minutes, and 30 seconds away from the very first. What should I change that countdown to? That's easy. Once it starts, I'll change it to hours left in Roots Tech. How's that? That seems like a good idea.
Yes,
I just have to remember to
hours.
do it. Except I'll be watching a keynote. I should be doing that.
And just since only the three of us are here right now,
Yeah.
nothing happened on my
Four
computer.
of us. Nothing
now.
happened. Yeah.
Nothing happened on my computer when you went live. So I'm on my phone. I can watch it as I always could on my computer and see the chat, but nothing. Just the same old thing.
Be, who knows?
Glitches.
They may also have not fully implemented it in your server in Canada that you're drawing off of, because servers are different in different regions, even on the same platform. So hello, welcome, Bill. It's great to see
Hi, Kristen.
you. Hello, everybody. I'm Barbara Etienne with Projectkin, and joining me today is none other than our very own Kathy Stone, who is, of course, chief in charge of Kathy's coaching. Substack.com, Kathy's coaching publication, which, if you don't already know her, she released the most epic of our Kathy's Corner episodes last week. And now heading into the Roots Tech cycle is turning to focus on her own family research. So, Kathy, tell us what's going on, and welcome, Dee and Bill. It's great to see all of you here.
Well, I'm glad to see Bill Moore here because I can thank him in person for the tip about looking at syllabuses. Or is it syllabi? I don't know.
Handouts. I'm telling you, handouts.
The handouts, yes, because I've spent most of the day today or this afternoon downloading all the syllabi for all the sessions. I'm online. I'm not in Salt Lake City. Right. I'm in Calgary, Alberta. So I started off with
that's right along.
Because I thought it's time to get my sessions on my calendar because they weren't there yet. So I started doing that and quickly discovered there's a whole bunch of sessions all at the same time. Like, who does that? So the syllabi have helped me to determine which would be best to look at while it's being given online because of the chat feature. Because they all seem to have a chat, so it would be an opportunity to answer questions. One of the things I wanted to attend, and forgive me for forgetting what it's on AI, it's a panel on AI. And I thought that would be a good one to watch live because of it being a panel, because it'll be easier to follow and the ability to ask questions. So now I'm working on downloading all the syllabi for the in-person only sessions that I had talked about wanting to see. So it's helped me in a number of ways. One where I've got like four all apparently 4:00 on the Thursday, my time is really popular. And so it's helping me decide which one I want to watch live. For a number of things. One, level of interest. Also by 4:00, if I've watched a bunch already today, my mental bandwidth. So maybe if there's one that sort of looks like it's a little lighter and more fun, I might go to that one and then watch the recording of the more technical one later. So I'm just sort of getting my strategies together, and I'm looking at syllabi. There was a couple sessions that I had wanted to online sessions I was going to watch. And I looked at the syllabi and it was 1 page long. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I got that one covered. Some of the ones on storytelling and things, I was like, okay. And they're beginner. So let me state that there's nothing wrong with the session. It's a beginner session on getting people to write their stories down. So, and what kind of questions to ask. So I was like, you know what? it's there forever, but I'll
Yeah.
watch something else that I don't know online.
Yeah.
So that's what
Yeah.
I'm doing. So
Bill just chimed in with some speakers will follow the chat for a while after their sessions end too. And then there's
yeah,
the ones that are recordings, that are sort of simulcast, essentially recordings that start at a
yeah,
given hour with the chat. That's where you can really expect a lot of lively discussions with the speakers because they're not actually focused on speaking. They've done this before.
exactly. They're doing the
Yeah.
chat. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I think there is an interesting art to the handouts for something like this. I know
Hmm.
when I've given a talk, I don't, first of all, I hate giving out the talks before a
Hi,
program.
Dr. Mary and
Hello, Dr.
Richard.
Bing. Hey, Richard. I hate handing out the handouts before I begin speaking because they are looking at the handouts and not listening to me. And then they ask something I just said. Pisses me. It's very annoying. So I prefer to hand it out afterwards, and usually I have it highlight the big idea, right? It's a carry on of the big idea. But in this case, it's completely different because
Hmm.
having it be a written version of what you will be speaking about live is really valuable. It would be valuable if you're seeing it at the same time as well. It's got to be really hard on people dealing with very current topics or a
Hmm.
panel discussion. There's an early American, actually, Dr. Mary, it's a early American, African American panel with Rick Murphy and others that I was looking at. And yeah, no, there's no handouts. Like four people talking, that's going to be a dialogue. Like, forget about it
Yeah,
for handouts. But others that are, yeah, I'm wondering what they're going to do on the AI panel
yeah,
because of all of this open AI and Anthropic business going on right now.
yeah.
What? That's going to be very interesting. So,
And
yeah.
some of the tip from Bill was wonderful because some of the syllabi are the handouts, let's call them. Some of them are an outline, a session outline, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, that expanded, that gave me an idea what you're going to talk about, but it's really not. Is it worth cluttering up my storage with a handout
Ooh,
for a session
oh,
I'm
that's
not going to
hard.
get to see?
That's
But
harsh.
yes, but well, because it's simply an outline with topics.
Oh,
There's no,
you
but
are.
some of them, they're like 8 pages of content and great content. Some of them, I'm because again, as some of you know, and everybody here probably knows because I've been on before, but I'm beginning my interest in my family history starts at the photo and now is going into the genealogy, not the other way around. I was a photo manager working on my own photos. Yep, everybody's laughing at me. So I'm
We all
just
get there somehow.
so for me,
Or
I
Yoel
want to
White,
know.
who just joined, gets there through the newspaper. So we all get there
Yes,
somehow.
exactly. So
You
I'm
catch up.
looking at sessions in things like I don't use Ancestry. I use Family Search and I use Family Tree Maker, which is an offline family history software that my cousin started doing our genealogy in. And I thought, well, why would I want to do it over again? So I thought, okay, let's watch some sessions on that, learn a bit more about that. I use Family Search, so let's watch their sessions on AI. Let's watch their sessions on something else they're talking that I have. They're all written on my sheet
Oh,
of paper here. But
they're all sort of tips
and
and
then
tricks they're not
there's some
using.
that I don't use. Like I think I joined Find My Past for about a week because I needed something.
Something free.
Yeah, and then I didn't, and then they wanted me to pay immediately. So it was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to continue to buy things till I know if I need them, but I want to know more about what it is. So I've got a couple of those where I may, most of them are live, so I probably won't be able to join them anyway. But I looked, and
Yeah.
sometimes a brochure came as the download. So it's been very helpful in getting my schedule set up, figuring out what I want to watch. Some of the things are very connected. There's a session on the Canadian census. So that's going
Mhm.
to be one of my primary sources. So I'm going to look at that. And since if we go back to relatives on Roots Tech, I am now up to 140 from none, all except but one popped up today, a lady that lives in New Zealand who is related via my mother So that was the only one that is not connected to my stepfather. So I may have to reach out to my cousin or my fifth cousin in New Zealand. So that was interesting. And I've also now have a few um, third cousins, which to me, that's not far distant away on my stepfather's side. So it's, I was quite fascinated by that. So I haven't reached out yet because I just discovered that today when I was trying to do scheduling all my sessions, but I'm getting getting ready for it. So
there you go. I don't know what happened. I was like dinky. We've talked about my numbers are very inflated because my mom's side of Quakers latched into the LDS early on and poof, right? And my numbers like hit a wall at 9,000 and it was like 998, 999. I'm like, come on, man. 15,700, 15,755 now, like
yeah.
poof, overnight. So it was about 160,000 people. Watch that top line number of how many people have signed up. And you'll see what I'm doing is starting to look as a percentage, right? So that my number is what percentage of the overall number, and then you can sort of see whether there's suddenly a big burst of your relatives, and then looking, and these are all Kyla's tips, let's be honest, but looking by family line and trying to see where the big numbers are coming from, and then within that, which ancestor it is that they're all coming from, and that's where I was able to piece together the secret. And then going lateral, putting in the brothers and sisters, at even a grandparent's brothers and sisters really makes a huge difference because you're looking at cousins, and cousins are, they're not direct line. They are cousins. All those big families and then cousins. Anyway, it's
well, and I may try and add a bit of my husband's family because he is from the U.S. Not obviously he's not a Quaker. It was his mom's mom and his grandma and grandfather who were the immigrants one from Germany and the other one from somewhere in the Eastern Europe where it's hard to keep track of. I'd have to pull up the
different parts
birth
of Poland
certificate to figure out exactly where they were born. But again, that's the Jewish side of the family, so there could be a lot of connections there. They're not in it, and I'm kind of surprised, but I don't know that anybody has done anything with that side. There is a cousin, or I guess he'd be one of my husband's second cousins who's been doing a lot of research on his mom's side of the family, but I haven't even got her in my family search yet because I was focusing on my mom's side and that whole piece. And
well, if you think about this as your children's research, then everything on your husband's side is,
exactly.
Right? Yeah. I have been all this time, as much of a feminist as I am, all this time I've been looking at the male lines, and I keep thinking about the Swiss line of my dad's family from Switzerland, blah, blah, blah. And why can I not figure out it must be because of the name change. Back it all up. It turns out I discovered through a relatives at Roots Tech that the widow's mother's father had come to America in 1839. And then she comes along in 1854, and I can't figure out why she's come and what does she go? Where does she go? How does she come? Well, duh. She was following her own family who were already here, and they were all from Baden. They were all German. And you know what? They all go into New York, and then they go up the Hudson River and around the Erie Canal and then down. And those are the ones that went down. I'm sure many went up as well, up into Canada. And anyway, I found a wonderful Library of Congress. I decided I had to report all of this to my other cousin, so I had to untangle it and write it down. But there's a wonderful migration map of basically how German families came to America and where they went, what the routes were, and even how much they cost. in this case 1854. So I will pop that in here as a share,
Mm-hmm.
because I just found it super interesting, and there are just so many of these kinds of tools. Once it's all about asking the right
Well,
questions. Who
and
knew?
that's where I sort of got I got a little bit distracted when I was even going through the schedule game, because then I start to look and I think, oh, okay, now from this, what's popped up in relatives at Roots Tech are all connected, as I've mentioned, to my stepfather. And
Mhm.
apparently it's a lot in the US, but it appears to be settlers from Norway were,
Ah,
it all comes back from there. So now I've got this other Norwegian connection to look into. So there's a session on talking about your relatives from Norway. And I thought, okay, maybe I won't do that one because I'm not really there yet. I might have to start on my quests here. I might have to watch out for too many side quests and get too far too far down the rabbit hole. But it's fascinating. There's quite a few sessions on Irish genealogy, and who comes from Bridget Murphy. I'm not sure. I can't recall who Bridget Murphy is. Somebody on my husband's side of the family who probably was an ancestor of someone who married my husband's grandfather's side and is Irish, because I have her birth certificate framed in my basement somewhere. So it's probably going to be one of those where I need to start looking at who they were. So, but it was like, okay, you can only do so much
yeah. I
in
love the
these days.
model. I love the model of the quest, going back to your Kathy's
Yeah.
Corner from January, because the quest not only narrows down what the question is you're asking, as per my example, but it also it narrows down what you can carry with you. If you take that metaphor that you're
Yeah.
off on a journey, you can't take it all with you. You can't stop and study everything at Roots Tech and then go research. You can't do that either. So you're narrowing, and you're not going to have everything you need, and you're not going to find everything you
Mhm.
want, but you're going to make forward progress. And I think that's really the key. Ancestry, says Dr. Mary Marshall, populated my maternal grandfather's line back in 11 generations. Wow, that's interesting. Do you suppose it is somebody very earnestly going through and populating it, or some kind of crazy AI just goes wild? Always hard to know. Yeah,
Well, and I
I
think that's
know.
it. I had put on my schedule a session on Ancestry, and I had looked at Ancestry, probably the first Roots Tech that was online. In 2021, I had looked at that, and then I had subscribed to it because they had a free trial. And then at some point I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this now. I need to stop having free trials to everything when they stop and then become paid trials until I'm ready. So I haven't looked at
Yeah.
Ancestry. I haven't looked in my heritage because, again, I get a little free trial and then I have to pay. So I'm thinking that will be something that I would love to see a session on sometime on. Let's compare, and I may even know someone who can teach it for us, Barbara. That might be something we do. I don't know under what context, but comparing all these different genealogies. I'm sure we have somebody in our group here that could
Yes.
do that for us. But talking about what do we get? What do we get for our
What
money
do
out
we
of all
get
these
for our
different
money?
sites?
And what are things that are kind of a pay once and then stall for a while between upgrades, or,
Yeah.
don't pay every year for, or what are the combinations that you need? Because I think my feeling is that you're going to be investing into a tree thing that is not somebody else's tree thing. In other words, you've got these online tree things, but you
Yeah.
want a tree thing you're in charge of. So I have one choice for that. I had an offline one, a download app one, and I just found it very frustrating. So I now I've used VR.xyz for that. But it also is lovely because it's like a treasure trove. I can just dump stuff in there, and it's so easy to give it context without it just being chaos. But all of those other tools, I've had my newspapers.com. I I think it's good until April. I've decided I'm not renewing it. And then I have my AmericanAncestors.org, but really, I haven't actually used it. I got it on a extra special discount, but did that make it? I don't know. And, how we make those choices is really, I think, important. Um, and yeah, I sort of drew the line at Ancestry because I go through my public library lets me into Ancestry to go find any documents I'm looking for. But I don't see the value of loading my own. I don't see the value of my giving my added my added value and giving it to them. If I want to give my added value to any of my cousins, I put it on Family Search. And I just exchange things directly with any of my cousins. I don't know.
That's great, Bill. Bill just commented that he's talking to every developer he can find to see if anyone can come up with a way of populating multiple sites from one front end, which would be really good.
You would think that the good people at WikiTree would be ideal for that because they're a nonprofit and they actually don't host any of the material. You go in with their structured system to say, I've already put it at all these other places. And here is the link, the citation to those places, because I would think it would therefore be in their best interest to have it be in multiple places. So Jennifer Jones says, for Ancestry, I have a very basic outline tree. I like to have my full tree on my computer. And I agree with you, though I don't feel it has to be my physical computer, but I agree with you as far as having very specific control. Wow. A lot going on, guys.
We thought of something to talk about without even preparing in advance.
Don't tell anybody that.
Did I reveal a secret?
Oh, we're still making it up. Oh, in one of the other crazy idea sessions that flew by in the last few days, I've been on 3. This is my 4th one in 24 hours. But Dear Mert came up with one in it was overnight. From the one I did with her last night, Paul Chiddix answered in a comment saying, I think she said something like, we're going to have a group photo for all the folks that are on site. She's organizing a group photo. So Paul Chiddix chimes in to say, hey, wait a minute. How do we all in the field, how do we all the folks online join in on that photo? So she says, Barb, can you Photoshop everybody in? And I'm like, hey, this girl doesn't do Photoshop. Sorry, it's where I draw my line. But I do love redirecting the question. So my plan is, hello, I guess I forgot to do that so far today. It's been a busy day. I am going to add as a form to the ridealongpartners.org page a form that lets anybody upload. Basically, you got to give me permission. If you give me permission, I will add our bubbles to the outside rim of the group photo that they take. So that's all of you on site, will take a group photo, and all of us that's out riding along out here in the field will have said, yeah, include me. And if you send me a picture to put on a bubble, I will put the picture in a bubble. I don't particularly care about bubbles, but honestly, most of the pictures these days that are in our profile pictures are already formatted for bubbles, for circles, and it's easy. So I'm going to do that. I go where the easy is oftentimes. And just Lori Olson White says, I still vote for little face stickers for people. The problem is, where would we put the little stickers? And then it gets really awkward about getting, I got to tell you, it's hard even now. All I'm doing is embedding the links to posts that people are doing and trying to keep, the newest ones at the top and let it roll down. I'm going to run into trouble pretty soon. But face sticks. Sorry, I read stickers there. Face sticks. I got to go read the comments.
Faces on stick people.
faces on stick people that are then held by the people getting their pictures taken. Okay,
Y
you're not serious. I got it. But I would try. And it turns out your average printer these days has a template so that you can send them pictures and they will print them on face sticks for you. Oh, yeah, I get it now. I get it now. Thank you, Lori.
In another world I revolve in, we call those flats. And you used to
What?
if somebody yes, it was a stick with a picture of a person on it,
Yeah.
and you took it to conference for the people who couldn't make it into conference. And so you always
Oh.
make then now because there's a lot of people online, the conference used to only be in person, it's now, online. Everybody makes their little flats and people take them people all over the world will print them off and take them to visit all the scenic areas in there where they live. And so then you take pictures of them out there and it's yeah, flats, that's what we're talking about.
I could just see little
Well, and some of them are quite elaborate, like people, they dress themselves in costumes that are appropriate to where they're from, and then you just take them on a stick.
Okay.
Flat Bob, I believe that's where it came from. I think that was the origin of it. There's a
Okay.
book about Flat somebody, and it may have been Flat Bob, I can't remember it so many years ago, but
Um,
the other
hey.
possibility is we have a photo Zoom and everybody just joins a Zoom and you take one picture.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Actually, we could do that too, but I can sort of see doing, little, uh,
Yeah,
hmm. Okay. I'm game. Flat Stanley.
Flat
I have
Stanley, yes, that's what it was.
I
Thanks,
have
Lori.
been I have been, as my kids say, "Mom, you're just out of it." I'm not hip with the culture. Not hip with the culture. All right, so let's break this down. I'm a doer. I think you know that. I'm a doer, or as my co-founders used to say, Barb just wants to check boxes. She just wants to get it done. So, how does this work exactly? First, yes, when they get their plan that is to say, all of y'all on site, have their day to get their picture taken, we can have our picture day too. And I could do, an Atlantic and a Pacific picture day hour,
Mhm.
and everybody say cheese, and now a funny one, whatever. And then we we take our picture. A Zoom photo, exactly, and then I could put those together because we got skills. But, how would the Flat Stanley get into all of this? I can't go taking I could, like, collect little bobble pictures? What do you want me to do? I don't get it.
No, the people who are live are gonna hold who are at live are gonna hold them up in the picture.
So they would have to take the circles that I send them, go to a printer, get them printed, and then put them on sticks and hold them? I mean, come on, man. They're going to
Sure.
sessions, you
Well, I
know?
like the Zoom photo idea. A lot less
Okay.
work.
All right. As long as, although I'm now I'm in with the program. See, the little gray cells are churning now. Pretty soon, my cats have a new house that's all made up like
Yes.
this. So it's
I will post a few flats, pictures of them not related to this, but yeah, you got the idea. I'll post
oh,
some in the
wait.
comments.
So we make this green. If this is green, I can project anything onto it.
Yeah, you could. There you go.
Well, you were just waiting for me to figure it out, Lori. Is that right? Okay, Lori. Next time I want to have you an event, I'm going to say, Lori, what do you think of that? Really? We used to call that paper dolls.
Similar idea. Yeah.
Okay, we're losing it. And we haven't even gotten to the first day of the show yet. Is somebody like handing out drinks somewhere that I'm missing? Maybe this is just the cocktail hour of the program. Oh. Okay,
Hang on here.
Ethel on a stick. If we had a bunch of these held up in Salt Lake when they take the group photo, and these are green,
There you go.
that's the answer. Wouldn't be that hard. How can I get little green, what do they call these things? Coasters. They're about
Yeah.
$1 a piece. I have looked at printing these because I do stickers. They are about $1 a piece, which is not nothing, but it does fit my rule of things that go through the mail, because when they go through the mail, then nobody pays taxes, which duties, tariffs, which I think is important.
Mhm.
Or,
Yeah.
says Lori, we could go high tech and hold up our phones with individuals live. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
Oh.
and because Lori, speaking of world travelers, let's not forget Lori, who is just back from the Olympics. Where are you, Lori? Are you at home in Wyoming on your way to Salt Lake? Because there's not very long. And have you had a night's sleep? Oh, I just woke up from a nap. On fire over here, ladies. We can add you. One false move and we add you. Oh, or home as of late last night. Yeah, I'll bet. Oof. So, yeah, you get to be the carrier of these crazy ideas. I will try to capture them in the notes, but I think we are on the risk of jumping the shark, and now I have now I have some skin in the game here. So now I'm interested. And I could see, bunny slippers. Bunnies. Oh, asking if she is in bunny slippers. Yeah. Now, to be clear, the whole idea of having mementos and tchotchkes and whatever else was always, if we printed these partly in green, I could do that really quick, and then everybody you get green, and then you print it yourself locally, and then you hold it up on a stick. Okay.
Yeah, that
Hey,
makes more sense.
anybody else want to join in on me? And then they can hold up their phones.
Uh,
All right, it's getting a little silly, but in all seriousness, we should probably button this up with a serious moment, because as we get into this crazy conference with so many new relatives that we never knew and ancestors we didn't even know how to follow and discoveries of connections we didn't know, um, it's kind of special to be able to have mementos, physical objects that are a memento of that moment of how that happened. I mean, this idea of blogger beads, this is my mother's necklace. This idea of having a beads that are shared were something that fell into the Geneo bloggers tribe as a way to connect and pass this idea around. And they were really came out of Mardi Gras beads, a special kind of Mardi Gras beads. So they were a little bit different. And then finding ways to pass that down, it becomes something that's treasured. Okay, here's the inside joke they're all laughing about. So Lori has dropped a message saying, wait a minute, maybe it's easier to Photoshop attendees onto a bunny slipper group photo. Yeah, we can have a competing photo. Competing photo ops. Okay, Lori, just remember you were on both sides here before you head off to Salt Lake. You are the party that is now infected with this idea, and you're going to take it to Salt Lake.
mhm.
But hey, stay safe, everybody. It's that is definitely always a
Yeah.
risk hanging out at big conferences. So stay safe out there and get your bunny slippers. My bunny slippers are, I guess they are reminiscent of my cat uh, and my outfit. She's not sleeping here right now. But let's get ready for more of this as soon
Mhm.
as tomorrow and go study up more and see these what did I say I have? Lots of connections. The connection numbers are blooming. They have more than doubled overnight of just there were at 240,923 participants right now. And it's blooming faster than anybody can keep up with. So let's see where it all goes. And I'm sure I'm connected to Jennifer, for example, in Australia as a cousin. We just haven't found it yet. We will, right? Thank you all. Let's wrap this up
Bye-bye.
now and make room for tomorrow. I don't even remember when the schedule is tomorrow. You're oh wait, hold on. Hello. Bill, you're still ahead of me. I'm still ahead. I'm just kicked over 15,000. You're over 20. Whew. He's got way more mojo than I do. That's for sure. So tomorrow is Monday. That means there is a Mondays with Mert from the library at 10 a.m. local time in Salt Lake. And uh, uh, that should be a lot of fun. I have also at 10 a.m. Pacific time, that's 9 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Pacific time, I'm talking to another remote learner here with Emma Cox joining from the UK. And then in Salt Lake, there is a lunch at the Copper Canyon in the Radisson Hotel. Then at noon, about just a half hour before the lunch starts, is Jennifer following up with Erin and Susanna, my cousins, both Erin Hoover and Susanna Minton Graham, at noon Pacific time. And that's just my schedule. Actually, I'm reading from the calendar here. And if you all, any of you out there, have events that you've been working on, send them my way. I'm happy to add them to the calendar and happy to help folks find them and make sure to get your recordings out there and share all the craziness that we're up to. Thank you, Lori, for your suggestion about happy to ask questions, happy to do stuff on site. In my call this morning with Kyla, she points out she's going to be in the library on Monday. I think even Monday and Tuesday, and very happy to take pictures of books that are only available in the library. She is a bona fide librarian after all, so she knows how to do that. All right. So thank you. Anything else?
Thank you. We'll see
Onward.
everyone over the week many times.
Stay safe. Watch your spurs. Bye.
Bye-bye.